Mi gente, I was just saying I feel so scratchy, like my throat, and I have been coughing. My eyes are puffy. So hopefully, I can, get through it without choking today because like my son had hey my love, hi everybody. He had strep throat over the weekend, and now I don't think I have it, but whatever the case may be. Long story short, I was just saying. So if I start choking, thank you so much. Hey, boo. Hey, Nikki. Thank you, Angel. I love you too, mama. So yeah, I'm gonna get through this without choking. But what is up, mi gente? It is Wednesday. Oh my goodness, the middle of the week. I know it's been a short week for some of us because, we had Memorial Day weekend, and I hope everybody had a fabulous weekend with friends and family, or even if you stayed home and did nothing and just relaxed, whatever it was. Like, literally, I just hope you enjoyed yourself, right? Monday was good, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I hope the rest of your week is just the same. Welcome to Ideals with Ideally. I had this all set up outside, ready to go, but you guys know Florida weather, and it's raining. And I was not about to get all frizzed out and get all wet. And I was like, you know what? I mean, I'm in the screen patio, but you know what I mean? Like dewy. So I was like, nah, we're not doing that today. We're not doing that. We are not doing that. So here I am in my special place. I came in here today, which kind of, I think, works with the topic, right? So today we are talking, again, for all of you guys that just joined, welcome to Ideals with Ideally, where I come on here every Wednesday live at 8 p.m. and just do kind of a short, bring you some value, get through life hassles, hacks, so whatever you want to call them, just real deal stuff, right? And it's just from my experiences from other people. And if anytime you need prayer or you need something, or, you think of a topic, don't be afraid to DM me. One of my friends on here, I'm not going to put her out here, but she literally was like, hey, this A and B is going on. Thank you, for what you're doing. And it let her open up to me. And I hadn't talked to her in a really long time. And I'm like, God, thank you, because that's what this is about. Like, this is not about me. This is not about, this is just about people, just helping people and bringing value into people's lives. So I'm so thankful for the opportunity to be able to do so. I'm so blessed that God gave me this gift to be able to do so. And I'm passing it on to you guys every week, Wednesday, 8 p.m. on Ideals with Ideally, right? Whether it's one person, 100 or 1,000 or no one. Either way, there's a message, and I hope you hear it. So today we're going to talk about trauma, right? And that word is strong. And I'm very proud of people nowadays, because back then, back in the days, trauma wasn't talked about, right? It was covered up. You just zip it, lock it, put it in your pocket, right? That's just how it was back in the days. And now it's not. A lot of people, more and more, some people still hide and are afraid, and some older people still, because they're stuck in their older ways, and some young people are still afraid. But for the most part, it's not something that's frowned upon. It's not a shame. Before, if you went through a traumatic experience or you had any kind of trauma, you were shamed because of it. Either you felt shame, people were shamed around you, they didn't know how to act. It was just a big deal. And so, I'm very proud of society today that at least we're confronting it, and we're knowing that everybody has trauma. I don't care who you are on here. Trauma comes in different forms, and you're going to hear that I'm going to share 3 experiences with you, right? And you're going to hear that trauma comes in different, it could be something this big to life-changing, experience. It's crazy, but it's true. Everybody has experienced a traumatic event. A car accident is a traumatic event. Don't tell me you haven't been in a car accident. This is my mom, y'all. My mom, every time especially with me, because she's been in a car accident with me, holding on for dear life, and all we're doing is switching lanes. I love you, Ma. I see you that you on here, but it's the truth. Literally, she has a traumatic experience because she's been in multiple car accidents with me. Well, one with me, and then, other car accidents. But because of that, she has that right foot brake when there's no brake there to brake. Holding on for dear life, And she's laughing on here because she knows, and that's trauma. That is considered a traumatic experience, So it could be something that small to, something bigger in life, whether you've seen your parents fighting, or whether you grew up staying home alone by yourself. You don't realize that might be why you don't like to be lonely. Why you don't like to be alone? Because you think oh, I was a dependent kid, you know, like my mom left me at home by myself after work. I took care of what I had to take care of, because some kids do, right? Because moms didn't have a choice, and some still don't, right? Some even take care of their brothers and sisters. But the ones that were alone, they might feel like they don't realize that that's why they don't like to be lonely, or they feel, you know, scared inside because of the trauma of being left home alone, because you're a kid. And even though you think you got it and you feel grown, you shouldn't be home alone. And I know some parents don't have a choice, but it was a traumatic experience. You just don't realize it. Like, it's so many things that trauma brings, right? And so I got two definitions for you. One is the definition from, you know, the glossary, the definition book, right? It's a deeply distressing or disturbing experience, okay? And then I heard Mel Robbins say it this way, and I really like that she said it like this. She's like, it's a lasting emotional response from living through a stressful, distressing, scary, or life-threatening, and I put life-altering on the end of that event. And it's so true, because it's a lasting emotional response. Anything could trigger that. Like, anything could, like the smell. Look, this is the first story I'm going to share with you guys. So China White, my dog, when she was a puppy, she had mange, and every week we had to take her to the vet, right? So we took her to the vet. She was a puppy. I forget how many months she was about this time. She was a little bit big by then. She was driving with me in the van. I had literally just stopped and got 2 relleno de papas from the gas station. That was so good. And I was ready to munch them down. I had them on the side. If anybody doesn't know what a relleno de papa is, a stuffed potato. It's like a potato with the ground beef inside. You know, the ground beef, and it looks all right and it smells good. If you never had one, go try it. Well, I have a traumatic experience, and every time that I see or smell one, it takes me back to that moment. And this is kind of nasty, so I'm sorry, but it literally takes me back to that moment, and I can't eat them anymore. Like, they make me sick, because China's on my lap, and she used to get these dizzy spells when we were driving in the car. Yeah. She got sick all over my lap. Like, literally. Right now, just talking to you about it makes me even think about it and makes me want to get sick, because that was a traumatic experience. Like, I almost crashed, number one, okay? I almost crashed. And on top of that, like, the relleno de papa, I couldn't eat it, because when I opened it, it literally looked like what had just happened on my lap. And I was like, oh my God, I can never, ever do it again. And look, Alien just gave me a fact. Trauma is still underreported. Statistics for reporting are late 20s, early 30s. Look at that. Still, even as much as open as it is today, more than it was back in the day, it's still underreported, okay? And that's traumatic experiences. That's huge. Thank you, Mama. I appreciate that. I really do. So that was a traumatic experience. So that's why people, you know, it could be big, it could be small, but like, that has been stuck in my brain. I will never forget that. It was the worst feeling in the world. I never want to go. It's different with your kid versus your dog. And it was not pretty. And I hope I didn't ruin, the papas for everybody. Please go try them. I promise they're good. But at the end of the day, it was a traumatic experience for me. And so it can be anything, like I said, a car accident. And I love the way Mel Robbins, another thing she said that when your body is going through a traumatic experience, or when you're reliving it, your nervous system, it feels like a car engine is revving, but sitting at a stoplight. And I felt when she said that, because anytime that I'm thinking of anything that may have happened to me in my past, and these traumatic experiences come up, because I've had many. Like, I could write a book. I will one day write a book about my traumatic experiences and how to overcome them, because I'm an overcomer. As you can see, I'm still here. God's grace. I'm loved. I'm blessed. Even though I've been through all these things, I am still here. And I'm able to tell my story, Okay, so I am an overcomer of my traumatic experiences, but they're there and they're a part of my life and they're a part of who I am. Okay, and so I like that she said that because it does. You know, when the car's revving and you feel like you're about to take off, but you really don't go nowhere. So imagine that feeling: the car's still moving and still shaking, and you're just stuck there. Like you're just stuck there. Like that is a feeling of your nervous system whenever you're reliving, rethinking, unconsciously or consciously about a traumatic experience, right? So one of the traumatic experiences I had as a little girl, you know, I lived in a really rough neighborhood growing up. I have, you know, a whole story about that. And I started at a really young age hanging out. And, you know, my mom, she did the best that she could. You know, she's watching this and I love her with all my heart. You know, you got to imagine, you know, and some of you probably can imagine this, but just imagine back in the days, you know, being widowed at like 23 with 4 kids and not knowing what to do and having all the kids by 18, 19, 20, you know, having all the kids back to back. And I don't know if she was 23, she was around there, you know, maybe even younger, but, and not knowing what to do. So like, this is nothing against my mom. I've forgiven my mom a long time ago, but at the end of the day, this is a part of my story and this is things that are going to be said. Okay. So, we were in the house. We used to have a lot of hangout in the house. We were the hood house, right? So lived in the hood. We were in, you know, I was in a gang. We had a lot of the gang members and a lot of the hood and a lot of the fellas and the girls coming always to our house. Party was in our house, right? Well, mind you, I was like 11 years old, right? So I started hanging out when I was like 10. I was 11 years old and I had my brothers and sisters there too. They were kind of always in the room, whatever the case may be. I'm taking a bath. Right. And it was when they had that black spray, like they had this really black spray in your hair. And so the black spray, when you used to be able to paint your hair like that, whatever the case may be, I was washing it out. And my homegirl, she's older than me. She was like 16, 17 at the time. She was in there. She was getting ready because we were getting ready to go somewhere. And so I was in the bathtub and I didn't realize that when I rinsed my hair, all that black stuff's gonna come out. I'm 11, like I think I'm grown, but I'm not really grown, okay? So long story short, I didn't realize that, you know, that was gonna come out. Long story short, the door flings open, it's 3 of the fellas, and you can imagine that's a traumatic experience. Like, even just still talking about it, of course. So, of course, they open the door and they see the, you know, bathtub all black. And then I'm taking a bath. I'm 11. I'm trying to cover up like, what? Hey, baby. Hey, Candace. So at the end of the day, you know, they started saying stuff or whatever the case may be and laughing and joking. And that's a really traumatic experience. I didn't even think about it until like years later, like maybe just a few years ago. And mind you, I'm 41. This is when I was 11. Okay. And I'm 41, about to be 42. Yes, I'm proud of it. Okay. 41, about to be 42, and I'm still fabulous. Okay. I might have some wrinkles going on, but I look fabulous. Anyways, so, you know, that was a really traumatic experience for me. And I had to come to grips to that. Like something like that happening, you don't think about it, right? It just kind of stuck with me forever. And so that's why it's so important, you know, for us to realize that trauma comes in many different shapes or forms, right? It comes when we're small, it comes when we're young, it comes when we're older, it comes from experiences like that, being made fun of in the playground, you know, being bullied. You know, my poor daughter, and I hope she doesn't get mad at me for saying this, because she was bullied like almost all of her elementary years, and it was such the opposite of me because I was never the bully, but nobody messed with me. You know what I mean? Well, that's a lie. I'm going to say in kindergarten and elementary school I was. But once I got to 6th grade, that was it. Like, no, nobody messed with me, you know? And so it's hard because, you know, these traumatic experiences that we live through, they form us as adults. And sometimes people don't know how to handle or manage. And it affects their everyday living. And they end up on drugs, or even if they're not on drugs, they're depressed or they're sad or they can't, you know, function on a daily, or they hide it and they fake it and they're all good. And you think their life is perfect. But when they go indoors, you know, they cry and they cry themselves to sleep at night. And sometimes they post a smile, or even if they're not posting, even before posting, like people just are depressed and people are sad. And they sometimes take, you know, severe actions, right? And look at this. They do, and they cause sickness and disease. Exactly. They really do. Oh my God, I'm so glad you brought that up. That is another point. Like traumatic experience, it's in your body. It's like stuck there. Like you guys, there's so many books. I wish that I wish I would have, I did it, I do my research when I come here. I don't just sometimes I'm talking as I'm going, but I do like to, at least know what I'm talking about a little bit. And so I wish I would have researched that, like books or things that you can find like for body stress, because it does cause trauma in your body. So physical trauma that you have mental from actions, like I said, from, lasting emotional response from living through a stressful, distressing, scary, or life-altering event happen in your body, and you get sick. And it brings diseases. That is completely true, okay? Look into it. If it's happening to you, get help. If it's not happening to you, but you know somebody, look into it and get them help, okay? Because it's important to heal trauma. It is important for us to come to terms with what, the reality is of the things that have happened to us, and to move forward. And to know that it happened to you, but not because of you. To know that it is not your fault. To know that you're not a bad person. To know that, look, Aylin is helping out. Y'all are honored today, my girls. Thank you, babies. Thank you. She said the book, The Body Keeps the Score. Okay? The Body Keeps the Score. I'm actually going to check that out. I'll be looking back at this comment later on. Thank you so much for putting that out there. I've been reading about this, and it's important to handle it before it's too late. Exactly. And you know what? You never know what too late is for you, right? But there's always a way. And you know what? I would say too late is maybe when you're in the grave, or like when you already got to the point where you had to, commit, but certain acts. But there's always a way. It's just going to take longer. Like there's a way to heal. There's a way to go for it. There's help out there. Like reach out to me. Anybody who's hearing this or listening to this, reach out to me. I feel you. Okay. I've been there. The number one thing for me, y'all know I'm going to say it, right? I don't push my religion on nobody. I know I talk about God a lot and Christ a lot on here, because that's who healed me. That's who helped me. That's my prayers. That's his love. That's his grace. Hey, I used to ask him, why? Why did things like that happen to me? And then I had to realize, man, thank you. Thank you, God, that you protected me. Thank you, God, that you protected me. Even when I was SA'd, I can't say the word out here. Even when I was SA'd multiple times in my life, in different periods, okay? It could have been worse. Like, it could have been a lot worse. But God was protecting me, right? No matter what. Miss Candace, look at, she says, reach out to her, more than happy to help anyone. God is good all the time. And he healed me. You know what I mean? And he's still healing me. It's still a process. There's some things that still trigger, and I have to fall on my knees like, okay, God, because it's not me. I'm an overcomer, right? I'm not gonna let this take over who I am. It's just a small portion, right? Because the enemy likes to come into your mind, and he likes to tell you, oh, you ain't nothing. Oh, remember this happened to you? Oh, remember this? Because of that, you ain't going nowhere. Or you can't do this. Or this is not, or you're not worthy. You're dirty. You're unclean. No. That's not true. That's not true. Because the Lord cleansed me a long time ago. Okay? So that is not true. I'm telling you, these are honestly, those are thoughts that pop in my head. Those are thoughts. Like, it could be the randomest time, and all of a sudden that will pop in. Who you think that is? Okay? Y'all think it's a game. It's really not. All right? It's really not. Like, the enemy will distract you in your mind. He will get to you in every... he comes to kill, steal, and destroy. That's him all day. Girl, yes. That is him. That is his goal. That is his plan. To kill, steal, and destroy. And he will do it in a heartbeat. And that's why it takes us to overpower fighting daily, hourly, whatever it is. Whenever you have to look in yourself in the mirror and learn to love yourself, no matter what has happened to you, okay? It doesn't matter. God is good and you're here. You're alive. You have a voice. You have a story. Somebody needs you. Somebody needs that story. You might open up to somebody who's going through that same thing and they didn't even know how to come to you or anybody else about it. But this happened to you 10 years ago. 10 years ago it happened. And you happen to be opening up to somebody and they're going through it at that moment. You don't know, okay? Trauma happens in every kind of way to everybody. To kids, we got to protect our kids. As much as I try to protect mine, they've had traumatic experiences. As much as y'all know, I'm a great mom. I've protected my children like, nope. I remember nope, this is not. And still, they've had traumatic experiences. Okay? So at the end of the day, all we can do is just heal from these moments. They're not going to go away. Some people had abusive relationships. That's traumatic experience. Honestly, my dad, I put my dad on a pedestal for me because he was so good to us and he like never hit us. And, you know, he would like flick us or roll up paper and hit us on the head. Like, now I think about it like we're a dog. But at the end of the day, he didn't punish us or hit us. And he passed away when I was 8. But I remember him beating my mom. I remember opening the door and seeing him like literally wailing on my mother, you know? So like these experiences, that stays with you. It stays with my mom. It stays with me watching that, you know? So at the end of the day, trauma comes in so many forms of fashions. A car accident, you know, like I said, like my story earlier, the dog vomiting on you and totally, you know, brought up that experience from that. You know, people SA'd, kiss SA'd, touch where you're not supposed to be touched, talk to the way you're not supposed to be talked to. Like, I can go on and on and on, right? But I feel like at the end of the day, the point is to become an overcomer. Now, how do we do that? Pray, number one. Sorry. If you don't pray, pray. As a therapist, it is encouraged that trauma is addressed. You have strong support, trust in your faith, and do the work. Trauma is not minimized, no matter what the severity is. Share your story. Amen, Queen. Couldn't have said it any better. That is exactly correct. So you want to pray, number one. Number two, I'm glad she mentioned a therapist because that's another thing. Seek a therapist. Most people, we grew up like, you don't tell nobody, oh, we don't see no therapist. We crazy. We're not crazy. We're not sitting on the couch, right? Because they had your movies and you would sit on the couch. We're not doing that. No. Seek professional help. Therapists have saved my marriage. Therapists are saving my kids as we speak. Okay? They're in therapy. Well, my daughter is in therapy. My son will be too. Okay? I'm trying to get my oldest, but he's 19. You know, he thinks he knows it all. So at the end of the day, I had to get therapy myself. And I still do. I'm actually going to be going back for something else. So get professional help. Pray. Get professional help. Read books about it. Talk to a friend. Talk to someone. Your sister. You don't have a friend. You don't have a family. Anybody who's on here. Anybody who's been watching. Anybody who's commented. Just be brave. Be brave. Hit the button and reach out. Talk to someone. It's not too late. Okay? And talk to yourself. The mirror has been my best friend, you guys. I know it's weird. And I learned this from the masterclass that I was talking about with D. Walker Inspires. He's my mentor. Follow him if you don't. He's an amazing leader. He's completely changed my life. And his class completely changed my life. He said, talk to yourself in the mirror. And he would say affirmations, right? And I know that everybody do, affirmations, right? You do affirmations. I am. Listen, just start small. Start talking to yourself in the mirror. At first, you're going to feel like a liar. I did. I would look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, you're lying. Girl, why you lying? You know you ain't those things, girl, in the back of my head. And I'm like, no. And now, every day, even in the car, I put down that little thing mirror. I'm like, hey, boo, you're looking beautiful today. Go out there and kill it, okay? I love you, mama. I love you with all my heart. And this is me talking to myself like if I'm talking to one of my kids. That love, I have to love myself. I cannot love my kids, love my husband, love the world if I don't love myself. If I don't remember that I am a child of God and that he loves me no matter what I've done. And I've done some stuff. I am not innocent. I have done some stuff. Every time I think of him on the cross, I think, oh my word, like you did that for all the things that I've done. Whew. Look at here. That's a whole nother life, right? But at the end of the day, love yourself. Talk to yourself in the mirror. Seek a therapist. So number 1, pray. Number 2, seek professional help. Number 3, talk to someone. Talk to a friend. Talk to anybody, okay? It's not too late. I feel like it's never too late. It just might take longer, okay? But that's all right, all right? Number 4, read on it. Watch videos. There's a lot of stuff, good stuff. There's some not so good, but there's some good stuff, okay? And number 5, talk to yourself. Love yourself. Look in that mirror every chance you get. Every time you walk by, just do a little sneak peek. Hey, girl, I see you. Or hey, man. Hey, boy, I see you. Hey, sir, this is for guys, too. This is not just for girls. Toughen up. Pull your muscles if you're a guy. You, what up? I see you, son. Like, whatever it is that you say to yourself, you know, I don't know if that sounded like a guy or not, but you know what I mean? You feel me? Because, like, at the end of the day, it's you. It's you and him. It's not you versus you. It's you and him together. Okay? We're not in this world. We're just a part of it. We're only here for a small time, right? It's you and him together. You look in the mirror, you talk to God, you talk to yourself, you know. And it's not about, pumping yourself. I mean, actually it is about pumping yourself up, but it's about bringing out what's already in you that was covered and smushed up by the trauma that made you feel like you weren't worthy anymore and has you like this. Let it go. It has you like this. You gotta let it go. I had to let it go. I had to let go of that 11-year-old little girl. I had to let go of what my uncle did to me. I had to let go of waking up after a night of drugs that I shouldn't have been on. And I'm saying my ex, at the time he was my boyfriend's name, thinking it was him on top of me, and it was somebody else. And I didn't know what happened. I had no memory. And I won't say no names because I won't put them out there like that. But I had to let that go. Like, I had to heal from those things. Like, I can go on and on and on, right? I could sit here and make all the excuses in the world as to why I am, the way I am, why I don't love myself, why I don't do these things, why blah, 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 blah. Or I could say, no, those things don't own me. They're not holding me anymore. I had to let it go. They're not smushing me down anymore. They did for many years, for a long time. Not anymore. Okay? Love yourself. Pray. And of course, I'm not going to leave without a scripture. Y'all thought y'all got looked out of that one, right? So, of course, I asked my trusty phone, what does the Bible say about trauma? And it says, y'all ready? Okay, y'all ready? This is powerful, y'all. Okay? We're going into Psalm 91, 4-6. Whenever you feel sad, whenever you feel like you can't take it, whenever those memories come up, or if something recently happened or happened when you were in kindergarten and all of a sudden you remember it, or whatever the case may be, okay? Remember this Psalm 91, 4-6, okay? He shall cover you with his feathers, and under his wings you shall take refuge. His truth shall be your shield and buckler. You shall not be afraid of the terror by night, nor the arrow that flies by day, nor the pestilence that walk in the darkness, nor the destruction that lays waste at noonday. Psalm 91, 4-6. And I'm sure if you kept on reading, it's going to be amazing. What up, Mitch? Thank you so much. I appreciate you posting that. He just posted it. Screenshot it. Listen, he shall cover you with his feathers, and under his wings you shall take refuge. That alone right there. That alone right there, y'all. In his word, under his wings, in his love, you shall take refuge. It's okay that it happened. I mean, it's not okay, but you're going to be okay. It's not all right, but you're going to be all right. Okay? Love yourself. Make sure you do it all the time. Mi gente, that's Ideals with Ideally. I love you guys. Thank you for joining. Like I said, it's always going to be either good topic, fun topic, funny topic, some topic, deep, trauma, sad topic. You know, we're going to talk about things. It's just, this is life. And I'm grateful to be here doing it with you guys. See you guys next week. You're very welcome. I love you guys. Oh, excuse my nails. Yeah, I went Saturday. This is fresh. It's supposed to be fresh. But anyways, that's a whole nother story. That's a live too. You know, how can we find good places and do good things? Stay ideal, ideally. Thank you, Mitch. I appreciate you, love. I will see you guys on the next one next week, Wednesday, 8 p.m. Thank you.